Hey guys, it's ViewMasters Reactions, and we're back with something that is Vox Machina related. My brother sent this to me. He apparently has been watching Critical Role and knows these people for years. He knew all about the Vox Machina campaign. He knew all about everything they pretty much do. And he said, if you want something that will show you kind of how these people roll and how they do things and how Matt Mercer specifically handles a crowd or handles a group of people and dungeon masters, then watch this. He said it's called D&Diesel. It's a one-shot, one-and-done type of thing. I goddamn get so mad. That cable is made horribly lengthed. It keeps getting caught on the chair. I want to punch it in its face, and it's not even real. But he basically said, watch this. It'll show you all about how Matt Mercer interacts with people. It has Vin Diesel, which is great. I mean, he's been in movies for a while now, since I've been in high school, if not before. But I was told, not by my brother, I remember hearing about this like years ago, how Vin Diesel is a big nerd at heart and how he loves doing like Dungeons and Dragons, stuff like this. It's not really that much of a surprise that Vin Diesel would be into this, but I'm told, or I've heard, that he's like really into it, like takes it very seriously, knows like the ins and outs, and isn't just like someone that messes around and is just gonna act like an idiot in here. He probably has all sorts of stuff that he could add to the entertainment factor of Critical Role's show. For him to be on the show, this had to have been later in the game when they had already established themselves, so I'm expecting it to be great quality. I also saw it had something to do with Nerdist. That's a channel that I used to watch a lot, Nerdist News, but I don't know if they still are on. I know the channel probably still exists, but honestly, it hasn't come up in my feed in a while, and I feel like I wouldn't have unsubscribed. I don't know, maybe they stopped doing Nerdist News, but either way, that was the only thing I really watched on there, so I'm assuming I will recognize other people as well, so we're going to jump in. The video is almost 30 minutes long, so I'm going to see if I need to edit it up. If I don't have to edit it up, I'm going to throw it up in full, and you guys will see it in its full content. If I can't throw it up in full, then I'm going to throw the full episode up on Patreon and chop one up for editing on YouTube, so you guys we'll see something. One way or another, you're either going to see a very long 35-40 minute video or a shortened 10 or 15 minute video, depending on how much I have to edit out. You guys want to see more of what I do, full unedited reactions, all the shows on the channel, Patreon link at the end. If you're seeing it on YouTube, we are seasons ahead of what you're seeing on YouTube. Hundreds of exclusives you'll only see on Patreon. The link's at the end. If not, here we go, guys. This is D and Diesel.
The small village of Braunbog
Jesus, he
has
got right
recently
into
come
it.
under a baneful curse. The young are born deformed and demonic. The denizens are driven to madness, some suicide. Those that remain, stubborn as they are, have fallen silent. But the nature of this curse has drawn the attention of one man.
I am Colder the Witch Hunter, the 800-year-old immortal.
He does a lot of voiceover stuff too. He is Groot. He is other things that I can't think of right now.
Now, Calder, you've seen such curses before drive whole communities to ruin. But from what your experience as a witch hunter has taught you is that the usual purpose of such a curse is not just to spread pain and suffering, but to prepare the land with enough misery and darkness for some ulterior motive, to transform the fame
Look, he's in like a throne
into a site ripe for dark ritual. So, you, in seeking the source of this curse, have gathered up a handful of proven warriors from the land to investigate what is actually going
I just
down
realized that's the
at
Nerdist News
Braunbog.
people.
I'm Vexalia, the stealthy half-elven
She's
ranger,
Vexalia from
separated
Vox.
from my twin brother and on the hunt.
Separated.
I'm Grog, a Goliath barbarian with a love for combat, women, and ale.
I am the headmistress,
Jessica
a
Chaubot,
human monk whose
Nerdist
family
News.
was killed during a civil war and who's now out seeking vengeance.
Beautiful.
I'm DuPont,
This
dwarven
guy's
rogue,
great.
And if there's coin to be had, I'll be there.
His voice is amazing for this.
So,
If he's a
as the five of you
wacky
trudge up to the
character,
outskirts
great
of the
voice.
Dreamseat marshlands, the sun slowly begins to set, and the mildewed, awful,
I love that we
set
have
water
Vox
smell of
Machina
the swamp
characters.
begins to take over your senses. As darkness slowly descends upon the landscape, you can see a bit of light poking through the trees. As you slowly become
This is
aware
awesome.
you've
Its
reached the
quality's
outskirts
great.
of Braunbog proper. You see tons of huts and small villages, all darkened, left desolate. You hear the cricketing sound of various insects in the swamp begin to slowly swell.
Is this how the
Frogs
campaigns
calling
are?
out
Like
in
this
the darkness.
quality? Because this is great.
You approach what looks to be the only true sign of life in your vicinity. This small hovel, kind of mildewed on the outside, with one single window that is aglow against the darkness.
Can we peek in the window?
You step up to the side of the window and you peek in the corner. You can see in the interior, it's almost a hoarder's home. There are a series of crates.
I forget what the
barrels and papers
limits or
scattered about,
rules
like
are
this
to
place
what
has
you
been
could do.
Packaged and then unpacked multiple times. Someone's been trying to decide to leave or stay. You see in the light, seems to be a female form, humanoid, sitting over a desk in the corner, currently kind of toying and sobbing to herself silently.
Now, could they just ask anything they
We should
want?
probably knock.
We're all gonna get.
See, I don't know if there's like a turn-based system or something.
What? She's gonna put us in a box, label
I guess
us?
you all
Tons of
could
D20s
discuss
just lying
until.
about.
It smells really good around here.
What do we do? Knock.
All right,
Yeah, knock.
Who's knocking?
I don't see why you wouldn't, right? Knock. Yeah,
Leader.
I'm down. Knock.
Am I knocking? Is that what we're doing?
I wouldn't let Boulder knock
Just
though.
turn into colder than
Or
knocker?
colder, Boulder, colder.
Every journey begins with a single knock.
Well, I can't be surprised. So, I guess I'm
Shouldn't we scan? Shouldn't we like perception the house or something first?
maybe.
Okay.
I feel
Isn't
like we're walking
Vexalia like
into
a
it.
hunter?
perception
Can't she like
Yeah, I
use
will.
her
And my perception
hunting
bonus is
skills to?
+6.
Yes.
I think that's a 14.
I like a 14.
Yeah, I think
it's
14.
a little bit of a fail roll, but
As you approach the door, you can see the door itself is not as mildewed as the rest of the building. There is a general appearance to this that the rest of the house, while old and weathered, this door is much fresher than you would expect. That's the best you can ascertain at that nature.
Leading me to believe that's because you'd come and go from the door, meaning you'd probably not have as much
Well, at
mildew.
least she cleans the door.
Or she cleans the door. I think it's just
I mean, is
because
everybody all
you
hesitant?
use the
Oh,
door.
no, God,
Okay.
Let me
Or
show
maybe-
you how we do this, and I go up and I pound on the door real hard.
The sound echoes through the interior, and you hear a voice go, "Ah!" On the other side, a couple of sounds of footsteps kind of.
I thought they were
outside.
still
The door
discussing. He just did it.
slowly opens with a creak. You can see now a young woman, kind of in her early to mid-20s, her face streaked with tears and dirt, very simple clothing, kind of looks through, peering at the group. I'm sorry. Is there a problem? What's going on?
I don't do well with emotions. I'm really the group knocker. Somebody else wanted
Vexalia.
to here.
Are you upset, dear? What's been happening here?
It's best you not be here. Death awaits those who come.
Is she like turn into something?
What are you doing? Flee?
I feel
Wait,
like
this
she
is
turns
not
into
possible.
something.
I chose to live here. Let me take this onus. You still have a chance to get away.
I love how into it he
We
is.
don't run.
Get away from what?
Curse.
I think this lady turns into something.
I'm with him. We pillage.
so she's saying she's running away from it. We should run away from the curse.
That's what she seems
Something's
very
in my
honestly
eye.
distraught and is reaching out to it in
Blind
hopes of trying
Vexalia,
to instill
help
you
me,
with the same
Vexalia.
fear.
But maybe she knows more.
I have
Do you,
a whole glass of
have
whiskey.
you done research? Why are you here when everybody else has fled?
Because my family's always been here. And it's not much, but it's still home. And if we all leave, there's no chance anyone will come and save us.
Save you from
Fatal
what?
one. At the very
Shape-shifting
least, if I die
lunacy?
here, Maybe that'll be enough of a reason for someone to come and alleviate this terrible, terrible night scene.
Who's
Yeah,
responsible for
I
the
love it.
curse?
That's what my question was. Is it a?
I don't know for sure. We hear voices in the night in the far ends of this swamp. We hear laughing.
I don't trust this
terrible,
lady. I
terrible
think she's
gurgling in the
mad.
swamp. Voices of languages we don't know. We've had a few folks go out to try and stop this. They never came back. Recently, I've heard
I don't feel like enough of them are
still
questioning this
howling
lady.
Voices moaning in the morning mists.
Do we know which direction the swamps are from this?
You're currently about a good.
I love how he just
say
shifted.
an hour's worth of travel into the swamp to meet this. So you're in the
Center.
heart of it right now. It goes further out towards the distant mountain range, and you gather from what you have traveled, it just gets more and more desolate, more murky. The water level seems to sink even further.
I mean, it's
He
laughing,
is amazing
gurgling,
at
moaning. We're sure it's not
giving
a
you
bar.
the feels.
Might not
And the
be.
voices are
What can we
great.
get out of this?
I could collect some change of the few that have stayed. I mean, I've only got a bit of gold to my name as well, but we'd be happy to put it up if you'll be of help. Please, I'll ask.
Oh, a bit is much better than none.
I'll go ahead and
You greedy.
I'll go ahead and speak to the denizens around. I will, if you come back I mean, alive, that is. We'll have all of our money ready for you. Yes, please.
I think we should get half up front.
You drive a hard bargain.
What do you
Well,
have
I
on
mean-
you?
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll a persuasion check.
Okay. Ooh, 11
Be persuasive.
plus 1.
What determines the rolling, though? Like, they talked and asked a bunch of questions. What determines when they actually roll?
She stumbles off and
Persuasion?
starts thumbing through all these boxes, making this loud, clattering noise. Comes back about 5 minutes later and he goes, yeah, 120 gold. It's all I've got to my name. But if this means to you that we have your service to aid us, please. This bravery is a welcome change around here.
All right, maybe
If you
she's
like, I can take you to these
trustworthy.
rooms outside the village.
She's giving us a lot of
I
money.
grab the gold purse and I say, go ahead and show us the way as
All
I
right.
put it in my backpack.
Okay. All right. This way. And she walks out past you, kind of closing the door behind her, locking it with a key. Turns around. Follow me into the marsh. And she steps out into the night air, deeper into the swamp.
Yeah, we follow.
And we're on foot, no mounts.
And no mounts to get here.
I literally
You're the
feel like
swamps
Vin
kind of
Diesel's
traversed
like,
with,
guys, stop
beasts
this
of burden.
foolishness. What's going on?
as you step
Where are
into
the
the
swamps?
swamp, about
Where
an
are our
hour's worth of
horses?
kind
Like, he's
Tense
like
travel
totally in
continues.
this.
You can hear the occasional
I feel like all
call
that
of
Jessica
owl
Chobot has said
into
is,
the night air.
I put a thing in my sack.
swamp
That's like
itself
pretty
grows
much all
more
she
and more
said, and I
sticky,
love her.
running itself with each
She needs
sloshing
to get
step,
more
running
involved.
More and more tension and drag against the back of your feet. A slow fog begins to roll in as the night truly takes hold of the Dreamseed marshlands. I would like you all to roll a perception check.
Is he? I guess it's just whatever the dragon.
Really?
Dragon. I keep calling him Dragon
Mine's so
Master.
bad.
I'm gonna go
I guess it's just whatever his.
You go blind.
13 plus 6.
13 plus 6, 19.
20.
Okay, and what'd you get?
What was I percept? Oh,
Perception.
it's 8.
8.
3.
Oh, one.
Natural 1.
Great.
So, as the woman and part of your party begins to travel forth, Grog
Six,
and
right?
Calder.
Plus 3.
There you go.
Oh no, perception is +0 for me.
It is?
I'm not a wise man.
You can't even see your hand in front of your
Oh,
face.
so your
Thank God I
character
got some
adds
wisdom
points
there.
to your roll.
After 800
That's
years, you learn a
interesting.
thing or
I
two.
do remember that.
So pressing forward, part of your party
I'm
begins
trying to
step
learn
forward.
this
Grog
game,
and Calder,
guys.
both you
I've
stop for a
seen
second,
this
your
like
senses kicking in.
15 years ago,
The
and I
fog that's
didn't
rolling
play.
in
I
while
just
swirling
watched for a little bit.
naturally beginning to coalesce and gather into shapes you see slowly piercing beyond the veil of the mist. You can see arms appear and then vanish. Occasionally a face kind of chuckles and disappears back into the surrounding vapor. You notice just beyond
I
the
would,
vast,
if I was rich and a
begins to
celebrity, I would
coalesce
hire
behind
him to
you
do
in the
like
form of
parties.
some
I'd be
sort
like,
of
here's $1
humanoid,
million.
wraith-like entity that
Do
begins
this
to
for
reach out
4
and forward.
hours.
I'm trying to pull my foot out of this muck. I can't even see what's going on right now.
How far am I?
She's probably 20 feet ahead of you.
So I should attack.
No,
All right, so
run.
seeing this,
Spectre, Wraith, something's got to die.
there you go. So you, rushing forward, seeing this entity, you burst forward with speed, going sloshing through the mud. As it reaches out to claw, you run forward, arcing your sword down, whoosh, in a large strike against the creature. Go ahead and roll attack.
High.
13.
13 is actually what you need to hit. It's armor class. So go ahead and roll
Why do I
damage
feel
on
like Vin Diesel's got great stat
that. So that's a
adding
total of
things?
5 damage.
I spin around. What the what? What are you attacking?
I'm attacking the Wraith that's behind you.
Oh.
At which point you see coming up between the two of you. This goes
There's
for an
Wraith.
entity. So
How many
Rod,
is just the one
you're
wraith?
prepped for this. You pull your axe out in preparation. I want
It
everyone
said
to go
it.
ahead and roll
One
this.
entity, right? One
It's been
entity.
terrifying seeing
So
a
good.
witch hunter sprint
I
towards you
know,
with a
with
sword.
a full sword.
All right, Calder is up first, and then coming up the rear end, they have DuPont.
What is
Someone else do
initiative?
it.
What is
This
this?
will be me.
All right, so you can see a second wraith beginning to form behind you.
Why? Yeah,
in
like
the
Vin
center of the
Diesel
group.
is either getting
You're
a
up first, so Calder, what do you
ridiculously
wanna
high
do
rolls or
next
has
time?
very high stat
Let
adding.
me light up the
things.
sword.
You use your quick action.
Yeah.
You bring the blade back, and as you kind of concentrate on it, closing your eyes to draw on the mystical power from your training, reddish yellow flames begin to burst
Sound
out the
effects,
outside
too,
of
I
this
love it.
metallic blade. In the light that kind of lights up the exterior of the
Look at
swamp,
this
the wraith
thing
immediately
he's got
recoils
set
with this
up.
look of fear. What else are you gonna do
I
now?
like that. I'm going to attack.
All right, so you get 2 attacks with your sword. Go ahead and roll.
If he
twice.
gets anything over 20, something's rigged. Look for.
Yeah.
15 plus
Nice.
That'll hit. Go ahead and roll the first attack damage. With an
I
extra
almost feel like
D6,
they
'cause the
buffed
fire.
him huge
Yeah, right?
so he could like just be God.
All right, so that comes to a total of 4 damage plus the 4 from the sword, so it's 8 against the entity. So as you shriek down with your first attack, The flames send the actual creature separating for a moment. The vaporous mist kind of bisecting
And then
in the
it
middle of the
joins
air.
back.
It slowly reforms as you, using that action, recoil for a second strike downward. Go ahead and roll your next attack.
17.
7
All
from
right, go ahead and roll damage
mods,
for
I
the
guess that
second
is.
strike.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, that's
my
beautiful.
God. Just obliterated.
What is that, 20?
20.
Yeah.
Okay, with the second attack, you swipe down, this time the orangish yellow flame burning a vibrant white. With the
I mean, it's
intent
exciting
as your,
regardless.
witch
I
hunter
don't care.
brings
You
the
do whatever
blade
you
down.
want with the rolls. He's good.
The wraith
He's great.
screams out in pain as it dissipates into the swamp air, completely destroyed. Vexilina looking dumbfounded by it.
Caldo, thank you.
You're quite well.
She went from like nothing to like, oh.
However, at that same moment, you hear the creeping sound of the second wraith that seemed to draw up behind you now. Next up in combat, that would be.
Are her
Where's
and
her friend
Grog
She's currently
together in
back
real
with
life? I
Grog
feel like I
at this
see them
moment,
together a
fighting
lot.
behind the large Goliath barbarian.
Okay.
So what do you want to do, Headmistress?
Extra attack, I guess.
Okay. So as you're darting up, your monk fists out, you can see the focus of your key energy causes the exterior of your flesh to seem to momentarily harden like iron.
Hell yeah.
You rush up to with unnatural speed. The wraith not even realizing your presence. Go ahead and roll 3 attacks.
Okay.
So +7 each of these strikes.
11.
That hits. Roll 2 more times.
I see. This is what's throwing me off. Is this typical that they get numbers this high?
That
Like
is gonna
maybe
miss,
they're just getting high
unfortunately,
rolls because there is an 8 or a 9. Vexalia got a 1.
It's all right. So
She's
roll damage
she called it
twice.
a
So
hard
it's D6
1.
+4 each strike.
2?
So it's 6. One more time.
What did you just say?
Nice. All right. 9 damage. So as you rush up, you punch the wraith from one side. You can see its form shimmer from the impact. You go out for a secondary uppercut, and it seems to disperse around your fist, completely missing in the air. You rear back for a kick. This time, it's unprepared for the secondary attack, and you whack, smack it upside. For a moment, you feel as if the ghost has physical form around your fist, and it takes the impact, kind of drifting back about 5 feet. That concludes your turn. Vex, you're up.
I think Grog was next. He had a 17.
Oh, okay.
I had 15.
I'll take the great axe and I swing it, and I go for a frenzied strike, so I get an additional attack.
Okay, so leaving the one behind you, currently fearing for her life, you go into an angry rage, froth forming at the corner of your mouth, and you charge up against the wraith, currently flanking it from the side with the headmistress.
Stay here, Muppet.
Pulpit.
Oh, that's really good. It's a 24.
That'll hit.
Yeah.
Next attack.
That's a 9.
Whiff. Go ahead and third attack now.
That's 14.
14 does hit, so go ahead and roll damage twice.
Thank you.
See, like, why'd he
D12.
get to roll 3 times? I'm trying to catch everything, but there's like
9.
9.
9.
Oh, dang. 12.
Already. That's twice. You missed the third one. So as you swing up, you swing the axe wide. It cleaves through.
Is it
part of
like
you
it
can
takes
see
your
there's now a
best
burst of kind of blue
rolls and
ectoplasmic energy
eliminates
just
one of your
kind
rolls or
dissipates
something?
From the immediate blast of the attack, you swing back with a backhand. It dodges out of the way, so it's going for your throat. As you do, you bring the axe, backhanding it to the side. The actual wraith is pushed off of its axis. It looks very angry, now intent on you. It is now.
At least it
actually
took
the
the danger off of Jessica Chobot.
Directed by M. Night Shyamalan.
Hey, look at that. It turns to you and reaches out, its face contorting with these large, angry, ghostly fangs. That's going to be a 21 to hit.
That'll hit.
Okay, and the second strike as well. That's going to be a 14 to hit.
Nope, you missed.
Alrighty. So as the wraith reaches out, it claws the front of your chest. But the claws seem to seep actually into your chest cavity, going up to the wrist, and you feel this cold,
It's
sudden grip on
possessing
your
him,
heart as
tell
if it
me?
Stop beating for a moment. You take 21 points of necrotic damage, and your hit points are permanently lowered by 21 points.
Oh my god!
Wraiths-
That's kind of harsh.
It affected his heart.
Wraiths are harsh, yo!
That's major.
Harsh DM alert. Harsh DM alert.
You're gonna stroll into my danger.
Like permanently damaged Grog in every campaign, or just like
Third
for
wraith
this?
begins to drift out of the mist behind
God.
you.
Like, did that
Now it's
affect
your turn.
Grog? I mean, I don't know how far
See
they
what
take
it's doing?
this.
And I Hunter's Mark that wraith.
Okay, so as you concentrate on it, you can see your experience hunting ghosts clarify its vision. Go ahead and make your attack.
Help
right.
me.
Go no! I'm so excited.
Her
oh,
longbow.
That sucks. 12.
12 just misses.
Voxalia
Okay,
seems to get the
doing it.
worst rolls.
That's
Laura
better.
Bailey.
That's 18.
18 does hit. Go ahead and
That's
roll.
wait, no, that's 20.
20.
Wow, wow,
Alrighty.
wow, wow.
So the second arrow actually finds purchase inside the ghost steel entity, currently keeping its form semi-coalesced to attack Grog last round.
10 plus Hunter's Mark.
That's, what is that? Is that a 5?
15!
It's a 5, yeah.
15 points of damage. As it goes back to try and reach into Grog a second time, your second arrow finds it, and you see the face kind of burst around as the arrow just barely misses the side of your head, disappearing into the distant swamp. The second wraith is destroyed.
Yes!
The third wraith, however, is still kind of coming up from the behind of Grog.
Why me?
And now Grog is
Because you're big and scary.
permanently damaged. Like,
Go ahead.
I've seen some really impressive things so far, so I'm going to not try and shortchange this. I'm going to sprint with all my might, try and backflip over Grog in the Wraith, then stab it in the back.
All right. The dwarven rogue.
Let's hope he gets a high roll for that one.
And ninja runs across the surface of the marshlands, almost like his body has no weight momentarily. Leap off the air, make an acrobatics check.
You got it.
29.
whoa!
With a
I don't
deft,
think
silent
I've seen
landing
higher.
Behind the wraith, you pull your daggers out, go in for the dual attack. Go ahead and roll.
All right.
So he clearly did the move because
That
that's
is,
high.
18,
18 hits. Go and roll the second attack.
Nice.
and that is a 17.
Both hit. Go
All
ahead and roll
right,
damage.
so you get
and
2 strikes, both hit.
Oh man, I need 46.
Oh, here's the D6.
Yeah.
Here's the D6.
5.
That's a D4.
That's
oh, for the
9.
daggers, right? Gotcha. So 9 damage on the daggers, and then
And then 9
I know, it's so tiny. So pretty though.
plus 7, so 16 plus 9, 25 damage.
25 damage. Nice.
Thank you.
So as the newly formed wraith kind of sneaks up behind,
They had
you
more
flip
than that,
over
I
it.
think, right? Or
Unnoticed
does each
in the
wraith have
shadow, you
different
being your stealthy rogue
hit
yourself,
points?
You pull out both blades, slam them both into the center of this kind of mystical center of the wraith. You see a flash of blue ghostly energy, and it screams out from the pain. Disperses, your daggers all of a sudden no longer having any sort of physical purchase in the creature, and reforms
Vin Diesel
around,
is loving
turning and
this as
looking
well.
towards
I
you.
could see in his face. Vin Diesel's just like,
Surprise!
So that's your turn. Come to the top of the round. Calder, you're up next.
How far am I from the dwarf?
You're probably, I'd say, this 25 feet.
Would it be worth a mystic blast?
Certainly, if you want to. What? Go for it.
Critical! Critical, guys. Critical.
All right.
You know, doesn't matter what decade you're in, guys. A critical is a critical.
what is critical? I don't get the
It's a
joke.
mystic blast.
Oh, it's beautiful. All right, so go.
I don't get the joke apparently. All I can think of critical is like in
I just-
fighting
can I just
games. I
enjoy this
remember
critical
critical
for a
like
second?
Yeah, dude, take it in.
combo
Critical,
breaker.
Okay, so
Roll it again.
11,
You could roll twice.
and then
Okay, so that's 8. So it's 10 damage plus your bonus. That's
plus 3.
plus 3. All right. So as the entity is reaching up, now facing DuPont, you turn around for a second, glance, and there's a burst of kind of purplish energy from your eyes as you pull on your mystic background. As you pull your arm back, you can see a bit of arcane flame gather in your palm, and you release it outward. It goes streaking through the night air, lighting up the forest as it surrounds, slamming into the wraith-like entity, and you hear it finally scream out in the air as it is dispersed and destroyed from the blast of mystic energy. You're sitting there. The front of your face is a little singed from the nearby impact from the arcane energy, but you're left unscathed.
Apologies.
Oh, because the
was a
dwarf was right
cliche.
there.
I think it's actually an improvement.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
There's a ghost behind you.
I love that now he's
Calms
like
down from the
permanently
adrenaline still running through
burned
your
from
system. You
it.
take
But
a deep
hey,
breath
he got
before you
saved, I
realize the mist is
guess.
recoiling, and the swamp before you seems to be unveiled, showing the rest of your path.
Well, it was worth the 120 gold, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Glad we collected up
I'm
front.
glad we got it up
He only
front.
lost half his life force.
Right. Oh,
The woman walks up to you and says, that power you hold, that's strange and ancient. What are you?
It's a good question. I'm a witch hunter.
Oh God, like he is in the movies. I love it.
We all gasp.
She kind of steps back with awe. And then I want to stay with you for the remainder of this journey.
Oh, crap. She's coming with us.
Oh, she's coming. Well, okay, cool.
all right. Who protects you?
I thought she was gonna go after us.
She walks alongside you as you guys step further into the marsh. Now the actual liquid of the swamp is up to your knee. And
I still don't trust her. I still don't trust her.
Until eventually you see a form in front of you what looks to be a large stone archway of some sort of ruined castle or establishment that has long toppled over and fallen into the swamp. As you look forward, I want you all to make a perception check.
Perception check. I'm drinking the last of my whiskey because we got like 10 minutes
Only
left.
paid off.
13
16.
plus 6, 19.
9. I suck.
16.
20.
Barbarian being so perceptive.
I'm really
I said the same thing before.
looking
Voxalia,
at the purple coming
Laura,
from your eyes, and I get
Bailey
distracted.
always gets the worst rolls.
All right, so Calder, DuPont, and Grog, as you guys approach, you see in the center of this ruin, elevated beyond the rest of the swamp water, there appears to be a large stone platform, a table, much like this, that seems to have on top of it a series of small trinkets and bone shards. It appears to have something of some sort of sacrificial nature to it. There is.
I think this lady
relatively
is going to try to sacrifice
blood,
them,
meaning,
or one of them.
Probably over the past 2 or 3 days. You can go and make an investigation check to truly ascertain the nature of how long it's been there.
And +4.
Okay, so what's the total on that?
11.
See, it looked like Vin
It's
Diesel
hard to really
grabbed
get
the
nature of how long
dice
it's been there. You gather it's
before
been probably a few
Matt
days.
said
Can't tell if
anything.
it's human or not.
So could you just be like, I want to
But
roll dice to
regardless,
do
as you
this?
approach the
Or he
table,
determines
the
that.
moonlight seems to slowly wither, and the room goes very, very dark around you, to the point where it's pitch
This
dark.
lady is
I don't
evil.
like it. I go into a rage.
I go into a rage.
I don't like the dark.
Should I light a torch?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Yeah.
So as you're all here lost in the
have
darkness, all of a sudden, DuPont, you light the torch. It bursts, but it seems like the darkness is constricting.
Use your
It's
fire
still getting
sword.
light,
Fire
it's very
sword.
low.
Well, that's not good.
Like the night air is trying to
Can we
strangle
hear
it.
anything around us? Is there anybody's voices or?
As you take a moment to take this in, the silence hits and you hear this.
What is the lady
This whispering
doing?
begins to
Ask,
surround
what
you.
is the lady doing?
Directionless. It has no real source, but it is enough to grow louder and louder to instill a lot of you with fear.
Can I grab our tag along and yell at her, "Where have you taken us?"
Where is
As
she?
you look for her, you do not see her around you. The
She's
darkness
gone. I
is too
knew it.
constrained to
Where's
reach
this
one.
lady?
You hear a voice come out from the darkness. upon
She's the
other
voices.
side
She's
of
whispering or
the,
chanting
ritual
or
table
she's
standing.
crazy witch and he's going to kill her. Boulder. Colder.
Are to walk on, unknowing they come to seat of their destiny.
Another voice comes from behind. It's the voice of the young woman.
Oh, she's offering it to whatever this is.
I knew it!
It cleans the palate, the tastes to come.
Shall we begin the next offering, dear sister?
Yes, we shall. And the woman steps out of the darkness, her head turned to the side, and you see her form shimmer. And behind it, you see her flesh extend as her arms grow overly long, her form large and
He's
hunched,
great
this
at
disgusting
conveying
looking
that with
swamp hat-like
very little
vision.
motion.
As she looks forward and cackles, a second one of the same type physical presence steps on the opposite side
Her
of the ritual
brother,
table,
I
surrounding
guess.
Winch Hunter, it seems you've come to your final bout.
Look at Travis.
you. What do you want to do?
Ooh, I like this. Attack!
I'm pretty
As
sure
your
that's
sword
what
now
he said
still
most of the
filling
time, but
flame
hey, it
behind
works.
You
It
trail,
seems
you
to
rush
work.
towards the first tag immediately before you. Go ahead and make a round of attacks.
Flaming sword again.
So 17?
17 hits,
It's
roll
a
second
hit?
attack. Yeah, it does.
Critical. I want to know what he's referring to because it can mean a lot of things. I remember specific fighting games that had critical in it.
All right, go and
It's
roll.
all 20s.
Go ahead and roll damage for the first attack.
7.
So 12 points of damage as the first strike streaks across the front of the hag entity. She pulls back, the flames erupting from the wound in her chest. You can see black, brackish blood just begin to flow from the wound. And she looks at you right in her face, her crooked nose and evil, deep-sucking yellow eyes.
Look, he's like, yeah.
More than that's called.
Roll damage for the second
For
strike.
the critical?
Yeah.
Ooh.
There we go. Double that, both dice.
Yeah, so that would be 26 plus.
3.
Plus 3. So 29 points of damage. How do you want to do this? This is your finishing blow on this one, Hag. Describe how you want to do this death blow.
Oh my God.
Oh, because there could be like a weak spot or something, so you could choose where to hit.
Delicious. Can I throw a little spin in it?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, go ahead and describe it. How do you want the
Yeah, because maybe you could hit a sweet spot or something.
This is gonna get really. I have to throw a spin on it because that's what Calder would do.
Yeah.
And so I go, my first one is a beautiful swipe. And as I spin, I reposition my sword and lunge deep into the heart.
First strike, the second strike now cuts through the front of the torso. You can see the ribcage exposed as her upper body is having a hard time keeping its physical form. Strange spirits begin to streak out of her chest, screaming.
I feel like she'd have more life. More hit points.
Reaching forward on the blade as you're brought the hilt up into the first one you set, you can feel that kind of cold crimson spill over the front of your hand.
Beautiful.
As her face is in yours, you can see the eyes twitching as
Pain
life
and
begins to
death.
leave her form.
There are more. They will find you.
Travis must be so used to this, but I could still see how enjoyable it is.
Her breath escapes the throat. Her eyes fall back and the body falls limp against your grasp. You draw the blade out, flicking blood off, some of it onto the headmistress and Grog standing behind you.
Apologies.
The other hag, who had just revealed, turns and goes,
Another time, then.
She just dips.
backs out, seemingly very frightened by the fact that you just instantaneously disabled her sister.
Oh, so it's
Appears
two
in the darkness.
sisters. I wasn't.
Moonlight
I thought it
creeps
was a
again as
brother
the
in there
shadow
too
that seemed to
somewhere.
consumed the vicinity seems to fade. You're now left amongst these cold ruins. The tension and curse seemingly now vanishing. The light and liveliness of the local fauna and greenery slowly returning around you.
You have saved the
We
world.
have done some good.
And we got
Good thing
paid
you
up
got the
front.
money up
And we got
front,
some
yeah.
money.
And you
Always
got
ask
paid.
for it up
And
front.
she
Always ask for it up front.
she was evil, but hey, you got paid.
I know. I knew we were walking. Yeah. Oh well.
As your merry band of
Amazing.
mercenaries
Amazing.
head back towards the city of Braunbog, you are greeted by the remainder of the partially insane but very, very grateful survivors of this recent curse. They managed to come out to you. The rest of the money they'd collected amounts to about 320 gold pieces, as well as a handful of currently unidentified magical artifacts that you currently keep at your side.
Now,
for
do they
future
keep going with
identification.
this, or Vin Diesel was just like a little guest?
That's for you guys to decide. As you step out of the bog with a sense of accomplishment, the five of you look on to consider, one, where your next venture will be, and two, where this other hag may be wandering off to, possibly set another trap and gain vengeance for the death of her sister. And that, my friends, concludes our adventure for today.
Oh God, it just
As
goes like
Calder and
that.
his band of mercenaries left the small, saved, cleansed village of Braunbog, they went out into the night air. What adventures did this world hold in store?
Love it. Is that it? Like, just ends like that? I can't believe they just ended it right like that. They just went to dark and went to credits, and that's the end of it. They didn't ask him what he thought or anything. I mean, I actually prefer it like that. It keeps you in the world. It keeps you believing what is happening. I don't know. Like, I feel like if after it was all over, they're like, so what'd you think? Did you enjoy it? Blah, blah, blah. It kind of would change how I feel about it. Matt Mercer is so in to what he's doing on every angle. Like, every character is so captivating. I said it in the video, but Travis is right next to him. Travis has seen this for what, 10 years plus, maybe longer. And everyone is just captivated by Matt Mercer. And I am too. It's probably the least I've talked in a 30-minute video because I don't want to miss what he's saying. And I probably still talked over things. I tried not to. I tried not to miss anything. I followed the story pretty well. So Vin Diesel plays Calder. I have to assume they gave him very good stats or something. Either that or they were getting very high rolls. Because Vexalia was getting really low rolls, but she seemed like she was the only one. It seemed like all our guests, aka Dan Casey and Jessica Chowbot, who are from the Nerdist News thing, I recognize them very well. Like, I used to watch Nerdist News all the time. Dan Casey is hilariously funny. I think that's his name. He's hilariously funny. His voice is perfect for something like this. He goes by the name DuPont. It didn't seem like Jessica Chowbot did a whole lot. She basically just stole the money or immediately grabbed the money when they got the 120 gold. And then she got some blood splashed on her. And she did call that the lady would be evil, which I assumed at the beginning too. The second you tell me there's this lady in this moldy house and she's all frail and freaking out about something, I'm going to assume, why would you be out here? Like, go, like, leave. And she's saying, well, it's my family, and it ends up really being her family, but it's her hag sister and they're both witches. And it's really cool that Vin Diesel was the witch hunter because he actually plays a witch hunter in the movies. So that was clever and interesting how they tied that together. These women end up being witches. One goes away, just like dips on her sister after seeing the power of Calder. But I feel like in a real game, that wouldn't have been enough to kill what seemed like a low-level boss, so to speak. It took more to kill the Wraiths, I feel like. So if you could use a death blow killer, whatever the heck he did at the end with his flaming sword. I mean, he got what? I think they said a 26. I feel like we got more on the race and it didn't kill them right away. I don't know. That's probably not important. And like I said, I'm assuming because it's a guest appearance and stuff like that, they probably buffed them really good so they could have killer attacks, because you don't want to have Vin Diesel here, have him get all these low rolls and then just have the party get massacred by witches. I mean, it would be kind of funny and silly, but Vin Diesel's this action star. You got to have him prevail. He's an 800-year-old witch hunter. I mean, I love his voice. He's got a great voice, hence why he does Groot and other things like that. I mean, he's fantastic. Vin Diesel's been doing it for, what, 25 years now? Easily 25 years this dude's been acting. I know he's in his 50s. He's still in damn good shape. He's got at least 10 or 15 years on me. And the dude's always been in shape. He's always doing good. He's always entertaining. He seems like a really chill guy. Just to do something like this sounds great. Now, I didn't mention in the beginning, but I just assumed this was Critical Role. My brother told me it's Geek and Sundry, which I've never heard of them either, but they're even bigger than Critical Role. I guess the fact that I've never been into Dungeons and Dragons and I don't really do much in that world, that I just kind of never saw this. I mean, there's a lot of things, even movie and TV related, that I've never heard of that have millions of subscribers. But Geek and Sundry is the ones that did this in cahoots with Nerdist. So I guess I'm going to see how hard it is to edit this up and throw it up. But I mean, guys, is this how all of their campaigns go? Is it that fluid? Is it that well done? The audio, the video, everything about this was quality. I did not expect it to be that well done. I thought there'd be a lot of downtime. I mean, maybe the other campaigns are because they just let it roll. This is probably edited up somewhat. I mean, maybe a lot. Maybe there's like 4 hours edited down to 29 minutes or something. It's obviously bigger and more going on than it seemed. But the way they did it, the quality and everything, I could even watch it for 4 hours, even if they had all the downtime in there, had them explain things and stuff. Like I said a lot of times in the video, I've watched people do this 10, 15 years ago a couple times. So I remember little things, but there's a lot of it I don't understand. Like, all right, I started understanding you get 2 strikes. So you got to roll first to see if the strikes hit. Then you got to roll more to see how much damage those strikes do. But then the thing that was throwing me off is what determines when you roll. Is it Matt Mercer? Do you also have the option? Like, it seemed like at some point Vin Diesel was just like, you know what? I want to observe this. So I'm going to take the dice, and Matt's like, all right, yeah, roll and see what you get. So is it kind of negotiable? Like, you could choose, Matt could choose, you kind of just go with the flow and whatever the dungeon master decides is allowed, I guess? Or are there certain rules you have to stay within where people watching like us would be like, hey, you can't really do that? Or does anything go if you're the dungeon master kind of thing? That's what I'm not so sure about. Also, I guess a lot of it has to do with the dungeon master, because I was going to say, how do you establish your character? Couldn't you just be like, I'm an 800-year-old witch hunter and I have everything maxed out because I'm so old, I'm experienced, and I have everything maxed out? I mean, I guess you could, but then it would kind of be boring. And like, what are you going to achieve in your journey if you're already the best? But then Matt Mercer, I guess, could cut that down. But there's got to be like some sort of rules established that like every dungeon master follows or something like that. That's where my mind's going. The funny thing is, I don't think any of this will have anything to do with the Vox Machina show, because I don't imagine they're going to be rolling for perception and stuff in a show where they're just battling dudes. I mean, that's kind of the point. As far as I know, that's not the point. I'm pretty sure this is just going to be like a fantasy adventure, and the things they rolled and the things that occurred in their campaign is just going to unravel as it is. That would be crazy if in some way they incorporated the rolls and the dice into the show. Maybe they will. I don't know. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense if they did. It'd be interesting if they did, but I feel like this is just going to be a fantasy adventure, and it's all based on the way they rolled and things like that. But it's great to see Vin Diesel doing something like this. There's also, my brother said, a Terry Crews one. So we'll see how this one goes first, and maybe I'll do the Terry Crews one this weekend or something like that. You guys let me know what you think. You want to see more of what I do, full on edited reactions, all the shows on the channel, Patreon link in front of me. All the shows on YouTube are seasons ahead, and we have hundreds of exclusives you'll only see on Patreon. The link's in front. If not, comments down below, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.